Intelligence creates value. Brilliant manufacturing leads the industry. In response to the national energy-saving building renovation strategy and the industrialization trend of prefabricated buildings, Three Trees developed and launched the Three Tree High-Efficiency Build Exterior Wall Thermal Insulation Decorative Panel System that integrates energy-saving thermal insulation and decorative functions on the exterior wall to empower the city's future and build a better life. Three Trees Thermal Insulation Decorative Board System with multiple excellent performances. Artistic and beautiful decorative effects, safe, reliable, and durable. Before installation and construction, the base wall should be verified. The verticality and flatness of the base wall leveling layer must meet the requirements of the current standards. Construction can only be carried out after it is qualified. When verifying the base layer, first use a detection ruler or pullware to check the wall flatness of the surface. The error should be controlled within 4 mm. And then the percussion method can be used to check the strength of the base layer. If necessary, a pull test can be carried out on the spot. If there are wall defects such as unevenness, hollowing, cavities, cracking, falling off, etc., the wall needs to be cleaned and plastered or repaired. After the plastering is completed, maintenance must be carried out. Pay attention to the maintenance cycle in different sessions. For common basic wall surface problems, Three Trees Special Interface Agent can be used. The Three Trees Interface Agent has super permeability, makes the base wall dense, improves the adhesion, and can effectively improve the drawing force of the bonding mortar and the base. After the base wall surface is processed, the actual measurement of the wall construction area is carried out to ensure that the actual size of the site is accurate. The professional design team of Three Trees provides customers with tailor-made construction drawings according to the actual measurement data on-site and the characteristics of different architectural styles to ensure the rationality of every detail. On-site construction of Three Trees thermal insulation decorative panels is simple and can be completed in only 5 steps. The first step, drawing the grid line. Use an infrared level to extend the standard node to the wall and then eject the ink line. According to the depend design and the construction drawing, find the reference point. In order to reduce the actual installation error, each standard layer must be bounced. The vertical control line must be put for the position of the external core and the side of the window. The second step, cutting slotting thermal insulation decorative board. Combining the depend design drawing and the actual division of the site, cut the thermal insulation decorative board precisely. The cutting table must be kept flat, smooth, and insulated. According to the table ruler, the cutting size should be accurately measured. The cutting size error should be less than 2 mm. Pay attention to the control of material loss. Use a professional slotting machine to slot the side of the thermal insulation decorative board to ensure the stability of the slotting quality. The slotting position is in the middle of the panel and the depth is reasonable. Note that if the thermal insulation decorative board is a rock wool core material, it is necessary to apply the special rock wool interface agent of Three Trees on the cutting surface to seal it to improve the waterproof performance. The third step, installing the thermal insulation decorative board. Before installation, all supporting bracket fastener expansion anchors and special bonding motor are ready. Install the first layer bracket first. The drilling depth should be greater than the length of the expansion anchor so that the casing can be fully expanded and fixed. For the higher density concrete base wall, use general expansion anchors to fix it. However, it is recommended to use knotted anchors to improve the reliability of the system when it encounters hollow bricks or aerated concrete and other loose base walls. After the first layer bracket is installed, it should be overlapped with elastic line and ensure that the first layer bracket can be closely attached to the thermal insulation decorative board and then configure the bonding motor. The special bonding motor for 3 trees must be used for the system. Put an appropriate amount of water in the bucket first, and then add the bonding motor while stirring. The motor must be fully stirred for at least 5 minutes. After the stirring is completed, it must be allowed to stand for 10 minutes before it can be used. In order to avoid agglomeration of the slurry, it must be used up within 1.5 to 2 hours. The point and frame method is used to coat the bonding motor. The coating width of the frame of the conventional thermal insulation decorative board should be 60 to 80 millimeters. On the middle of the thermal insulation decorative board, evenly apply a number of bonding points, and the diameter of each coating point should not be less than 120 millimeters. On the middle or lower part of the edge of the board, use a spatula to scrape out a 50 mm width notch to facilitate air discharge and improve the safety of the window load system. It is forbidden to leave an exhaust vent on the upper side, which will cause rainwater to enter and reduce the stability of the system. Generally, the bonding area is guaranteed to be more than 50%. The actual bonding area refers to the relevant local standards. For special projects, the tensile bonding strength of the bonding motor and the base layer shall be greater or equal to 0.6 megapascal. In accordance with the requirements of the submitted documents to ensure that the thermal insulation decorative board is firmly bonded, when installing the thermal insulation decorative board, install it from bottom to top along the divided grid line that has been injected. The insulation board is gently rubbed and pasted in place after the insulation decorative board is pasted on the wall. It is fixed around with 3 tree special fasteners, which can reduce the joint distance of the board, reduce the amount of sealant, and prevent safety hazards. The stainless steel material is durable with a single point anchoring strength greater than or equal to 0.6 kN, and the single point can withstand a tensile force of 60 kilograms. After the 10,000 Pascal anti-wind pressure test, it is not damaged to ensure the overall stability and overall flatness of the system. The inspection ruler is used for inspection, and the razor precision is gently tapped in place with a soft rubber hammer. The gap between the board and the board is controlled at 5 to 10 millimeters. The double insurance fixing method combined with glue and anchor makes the thermal insulation decorative board more solid and can withstand a pulling force of 60 tons per square meter, which is equivalent to the weight of 40 cars. The fourth step, treating seams. After the installation and fixation are completed, use a dust blower to clean the board gaps. Fill the gaps between adjacent boards with thermal insulation foam strips to prevent the influence of cold and heat bridges. The diameter of the selected foam strip is 1.2 to 1.5 times the width of the seam, and the insertion depth is controlled at about 5 mm. After the foam strip is plugged, ensure that it is level and cannot be wavy to prevent exposure or cavities after the glue is applied. After the foam strips is filled, first tear off the protective film on both sides of the board seam, and then paste the masking paper at a position not less than 1 mm from the board seam. The masking paper must be horizontal and vertical with uniform width, in order to ensure that the split seams are smooth after gluing. 3-Trace uses special neutral silicone weatherproof sealant to fill the board seam. The sealant should be even and appropriate. The sealing depth should not be less than 5 mm. The overlap width with the insulation decorative board should not be less than 1 mm. The thickness of the board should be 1 to 3 mm. 3-Trace independently develops and produces special sealant, zero mineral oil addition, environmental protection, friendly to construction personnel, long-lasting, sealing, and waterproof. Durability can be up to 25 years. After the glue is compacted, the masking paper should be torn off immediately. Foam stick and silicone weather-resistant sealant provide double protection for the seam of the board, and the waterproof performance is more reliable. Step 5. Removing protective film and cleaning the rack. After the seam sealant is completely dry, remove the protective film. Do not tear the film vigorously to prevent damage to the finish. It should be noted that the protective film must be removed within 45 days in summer, and the protective film must be removed within 60 days in winter. When removing the film, install breather valve at the crux position of the board seam. According to the requirements, install breather valve every 10 to 15 square meters. After the panel cleaning and frame removal work is completed, the construction of the 3-Trace insulation decorative board is successfully completed. The whole process is quick and convenient. Compared with the traditional construction technology, it saves about half of the construction period.